Senyores i senyors, l'acte és a punt de començar. Si us plau, ocupin els seus seients. Gràcies. Condueix l'acte Aurora Massip, periodista i antiga alumna de la Universitat Pompeu Fabra.
Buen día, good morning, buenos días a todos y a todas. Maravilloso ver este auditorio así de lleno un día como hoy. Gràcies per ser aquí, autoritats, professors, família i tots els amics que realment us acompanyen en aquest moment tan simbòlic que bé, representa i és únic i sempre el recordareu perquè suposa el final d'una etapa intensa i molt bonica, una etapa que segur que ha estat extremadament enriquidora. Bienvenidos, graduados y graduadas. Gracias por estar todos y todas aquí, autoridades, profesores, familiares y todos los amigos que os acompañan en este momento tan simbólico de vuestras vidas. Es un momento que seguro que siempre recordaréis, que marca el final de una etapa que ha sido intensa, muy enriquecedora y seguro que ha sido también muy hermosa. Welcome, graduates. Thank you for being here, authorities, teachers, family members, and all the friends who are joining you in this symbolic moment of your lives. It's a moment that you will always remember because it's the end of an intense and beautiful chapter of your lives. Buenos días, bon dia, good morning to all people who are following us on the internet. Through this ceremony, we will be using Catalan, Spanish and English so everyone can follow it. Avui celebrem l'acte acadèmic de graduació dels màsters del Departament d'Enginyeria de la Universitat Pompeu Fabra. Esteu aquí presents al voltant de 70 estudiants, n'hi ha més, però molts no han pogut venir, i veniu de més de 15 països diferents i heu compartit aquesta voluntat de millorar el món a través del coneixement, de la tecnologia, de la ciència i de la creativitat. I segur que també heu compartit hores i més hores d'estudi, de treball i unes quantes hores de juerga, segur, pels carrers de Barcelona. Party time, eh? Avui, today, we graduate students from 5 masters, Master in Brain and Cognition, Master in Cognitive Systems and Interactive Media, Master in Computational Biomedical Engineering, Master in Intelligent Interactive Systems, and Master in Sound and Music Computing. I ask you for a big applause, un aplaudiment per les 70 persones que avui esteu aquí. Como sabéis y como podemos deducir solo con los enunciados de los másters, y los familiares y los amigos lo sabéis, son programas que no son fáciles. Son exigentes y han requerido mucho esfuerzo. Veo que hacéis así, que sí con la cabeza, ¿no? Pero seguro que han valido la pena. Ara ja formareu part d'una comunitat global de pensadors, de creadors, preparats per afrontar reptes complexos. You are now part of a global community of thinkers and creators, ready to face complex challenges and imagine meaningful solutions for all the world. In this community, where you're from now, we have the opportunity to learn from people like the one who will deliver today's graduation lecture. La lliçó de graduació d'avui serà a càrrec de Teresa Pelinski, alumni de la UPF del Master in Sound and Music Computing. Not long ago, she was sitting right here where you are now. She was a student full of questions, ideas, and excitement for what was to come. Now, Teresa Pelinski is a PhD student in Artificial Intelligence and Music at the Center for Digital Music at Queen Mary University of London. She is supervised by Professor Andrew Macpherson from Imperial College London and Professor Rebecca Fibrink from University of the Arts in London. Her PhD is funded by Bella and by UK Research and Innovation, which is the main public funding body for science and innovation in the United Kingdom. Teresa completed her master's degree here at the UPF. Her final project, supervised by Professor Sergi Jordà and Dr. Besat Haki, was focused on music regeneration using deep learning. Outside of academia, Teresa says that she likes spending time on her computer, reading books, making candles, playing football, video games, modular scenes, thinking about technology, tape and film, self-hosting things, and also coding and designing websites. I just say that you can look for her website, and it's surprising and very nice to see. So join me in giving a warm welcome to Teresa Pelensky, who is going to do the speech of today. Thank you. Thank you. Gracias.
Hello, can you hear me well at the back? I'll give the speech in English and I won't repeat it in Spanish and Catalan. I'm going to start then. Hi, I'm Teresa Pelensky, and I've been introduced already, but I did graduate from Sound and Music Computing in 2021. That was 4 years ago. And I actually did not sit here because it was COVID. I did not hang out around campus much. So it's very exciting to be here, and I am very thankful to Professor Xavier Serra for the invitation. First of all, congratulations to all graduating students. If I'm correct, most of you might still be working towards your master thesis. So I'm sending you some strength in this last stretch. And you probably have heard this before, but it is unlikely many people will actually read your full thesis, beginning to end. So I would concentrate on actually enjoying the work and learning and going down the rabbit holes you're interested on, rather than aiming for the perfect polished thesis. The programs graduating today are, it's been said already, but I will repeat it: Brain and Cognition, Cognitive Science and Interactive Media, Computational Biomedical Engineering, Intelligent Interactive Systems, and Sound and Music Computing. And something all of these programs have in common is that they are all highly interdisciplinary fields. I can speak for Sound and Music Computing, which combines the already interdisciplinary fields of computation and music. It involves not only technical, scientific, or engineering aspects, but also a great deal of humanities like musicology or social sciences and creative practice. And I want to use my time today to talk about something some of you might be feeling, and is that you might not really know where you belong career-wise. Having ended up in these master programs, you might have studied very diverse things. So, for example, I studied physics because I was interested in sound and maths, but I was always also interested in computers and art. So physics was kind of unsatisfactory in that sense. Actually, at some point early in my undergrad, I found out there was this marvelous and magic Sound and Music Computing Masters here at UPF. And I remember I actually found it because I was looking for some master's or PhD student thesis on acoustics. But the SMC, the Sound and Music Computing program, was my sort of comfort program, the program I would always Google when I felt very drained from studying an undergrad I didn't feel was fully my thing. And I did consider switching degrees from physics to something else, and I emailed Xavier. This was ages ago. I emailed Xavier in the second year of my bachelor's. It was a sort of panicked email asking if I could access the master's with a physics degree or if I should switch to something like computer science. He said physics was fine, so thanks in part to Xavier. Now I get to say I have a physics degree, which I have to admit I like saying, even though I can say I remember well what the thermodynamics laws are. So I did the SMC Masters, and later I moved to London to do my PhD in computer science. In particular, my PhD is in new musical instruments, and now I'm close to finishing my PhD. But now I'm not a physicist, I'm not a computer scientist, I'm not an engineer, not a musicologist, not a musician, not a sound artist, and also not a designer. I'm a bit of all of these things, but none of them fully. I am what in English is called a Johnny Do-It-All or a Jack of all trades. In Latin, a Johannes Factotum, if you want to sound more elegant. And this Jack of all trades phrase means someone who can do many things, but is not fully an accomplished expert in any of them. Jack, from Jack of all trades, is a generalist rather than a specialist. The phrase has been in use since the late 17th century, and then a century later, in the late 18th century, the phrase, but master of none, was added at the end. So it was Jack of all trades, ... but master of none. This Master of None bit was added, according to Wikipedia, to make the statement less flattering to the person receiving it. So Jack of all trades was used at the time in a derogatory manner. And I want to take this time to make a praise for Johnny Do-It-All for all of these Jack of all trades, because I think there might be some of you in the room. I find being a Johnny Do-It-All very confusing, especially now that I'm finishing my PhD. I am constantly searching for postdocs, industry positions. I ask ChatGPT what job I should be looking for, considering the super skills I have. And ChatGPT doesn't really know, and neither do I. It feels that doing a postdoc in a standard human-computer interaction field would be killing that side of me that wants to talk about creative practice and critical theory. If I try going along the more humanities, science and technology studies route, I'm killing the maker programmer in me. And if I go into industry, then I am bowing to capitalist interests rather than the apparently pure pursuit of knowledge academia is offering to me. My researcher self would be going dead. And it actually feels that any path I take, it means killing a part of me. So what do? I don't really know. If I knew, I would be doing it. And I cannot really talk about your future or my future, but I can talk about how I think being a jack of all trades and, yes, a master of none has played in my favor in these last 4 years of my PhD. First of all, and this might feel obvious, but it's still worth saying, be suspicious of anyone who lightly claims to be an expert at an early career stage. What they mean is that they know a lot about a specific topic, but to me, an expert is not someone who knows everything, but someone who fully understands the complexity of the issue. Second, and I think here comes the interesting point, in interdisciplinary fields, to grasp the complexity, you need to be able to navigate the terminology, narrative, discourses, backgrounds of many fields. What I am trying to say is that to be proficient in an interdisciplinary field, you often need to be a Johnny Do-It-All. My field is New Interfaces for Musical Expression, shortened NIME. This is a field that deals with many aspects of designing new technology for making music, mostly in the experimental music space. Let me illustrate what I mean with having to be a Johnny Do-It-All in NIME, in my field. An important question you need to ask yourself in this field is, what are musical instruments anyway? The first answer that comes to mind is that they are technology for making music. Yet, technology is often functional, meaning it has a specific and predefined purpose against which we can evaluate how good the technology is. So for example, a TV is for watching video, and we can evaluate the resolution of the screen, how well it reproduces the video, the fidelity of the audio. But how can we evaluate how good a musical instrument is? The answer is that there is no answer. That is, as they say in social sciences, it is a wicked problem, a problem too complex to have a definite solution. Understanding this deeply requires to be not only a skilled technologist, but also someone who engages with the philosophy of technology, design theory, and artistic practice. It indeed requires to be a jack of all trades. During my PhD, I've arrived at questions that I felt were worth researching. They were the important questions. However, I could not answer these questions from the technical background I had. Fresh into my PhD, I still remembered all the maths I had learned in my physics degree, and I also knew a great deal of coding from my Masters. Yet the big questions I encountered while working on my PhD had not much to do with this. I won't go into detail because I don't want to bore anyone talking about the specificities of my thesis, but it required me to go into artistic research and read a good bunch of philosophy of science and philosophy of technology. And it was tough to understand those texts at first, but my particular background, my, you could say, epistemological position, that is my knowledge of scientific practice, engineering, coding, has given me a unique point of view to discuss and talk about these texts. And that is a value. So this work I did in my thesis, that was kind of unrelated to anything I had done before, to my technical background, I actually consider it to be the best work I've done in my thesis. I've been, of course, lucky to have advisors who have given me the freedom to do this. Sometimes you will need to fight a bit harder for that freedom, but it's worth it, or it has been for me at least. So you might now be feeling like, after this program, you know even less than what you started with, because you are starting to understand the complexity of your field, of the fields you are working with. But as I'm telling you, becoming this jack of all trades is the first step towards becoming a good researcher, a good practitioner, whatever you want to be. It can be uncomfortable at times to be asked what you're doing and what you are career-wise, and not have the words to answer. And I tell you, it's okay, that will come, I think. It hasn't come for me yet, but I think we have to trust the process in this one. So congratulations again for the hard work you've put and continue to put in your degree, and best of luck with your future endeavors. Be proud to be a Johnny Do-It-All, a jack of all trades, and a master of none.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Teresa, for your inspiring speech. Be a Johnny Do-It-All, you said. And I highly recommend you to have a look in Teresa's profile online, because you will find inspiring ideas and you can do some imagination about what can you do and what can you be in the future. So now it's the moment, it's the time you're all waiting for, the delivery of the commemorative diplomas to graduates of the class 2025 of the master's degrees in Information and Communications Technologies in the Department of Engineering. Comencem amb el Màster in Brain and Cognition. Pujarà a lliurar els diplomes Davinia Hernández Leo, que és la coordinadora acadèmica del Departament d'Enginyeria, i els nous graduats i graduades, que ja els tenim aquí preparats per a aquest moment, són Vittorio Maria Barabelli Savena. Un aplaudiment per cadascun d'ells, si us plau. Marc Benhamou. Laura Benito Sandoval. Stefano Galiano Riosalido. Laura López Zambrano. Fabio Mattiusi. Joana Filippo. Òscar James Martín Romeix. Nefeli Marina Rusca. Paula Elisa Schiding. I Ramin Staya. Un fort aplaudiment per tots ells. I demanem a Davinia que es quedi amb nosaltres per al següent torn. Now it's a turn of the graduates of the Master in Cognitive Systems and Interactive Media. They're a bit nervous for this moment. So I say the names and you can do a big applause for every one of them. Alexandra Bereznikova. Youssef Ghanem. Nuria Esther González Jiménez. Belén González Mateo. Ismael Alp Oskaigi. Nezir Uran. Marija Vidovic. Jennifer Warbeck. Doncs un aplaudiment per tots ells, també per Davinia Hernández Leo, la coordinadora del màster en sistemes cognitius i media interactius. Anem ara amb el torn dels graduats i graduades del Màster in Computational Biomedical Engineering. Demanem que vingui amb nosaltres per entregar aquests diplomes Gemma Piella, la coordinadora d'aquest màster. Els tenim aquí també preparats i comencem amb Pau Borja Roca. Mercedes Caballero García. Melissa Calero Layana. Arnau Ferrer Melero. Alba Fernández Cocaño. María García Elitzainain. ¿Sí? Lucky Nivre Gerona. Niklas Kalin. Carla Leal Bajo. Haizam Al-Shawa. Paula Mira López. Marc Moya García. Ariana Murillo Hernández. Loyola Muro Pereda. Javier Navarro Gil. Helen Alexa Piedra. Elisabeta Pivovarova. I Adrià Puig Besa. Gemma Pilla, coordinadora del màster, i per tots ells un fort aplaudiment i de felicitació en aquest moment tan especial. Realment fa emoció, fa posar el pell de gallina, que no sé com es diu en anglès, però fa posar de piel de gallina. Seguim amb els nous graduats i graduades del Màster en Intelligent Interactive Systems. Demanem que s'acosti al coordinador del màster, Vicenç Gómez, per lliurar aquests diplomes. Els tenim ja aquí preparats i comencem amb Marta Xiulant Aribó Herrera. Yiyun Xian. Oumaima Esamadi. Raúl Fuentes del Pino. Mateo Giorgi. Rafael Gutiérrez Noriega. Ozan Oktay Guner. Jovan Ivkovic. Inés Montoya Espinagosa. Ashwin Singh. Nikodims Velichknui. Fulden Ece Ogur. I Karina Abigail Vázquez Bautista. Un aplaudiment pels graduats, per tots els graduats i graduades, i també pel seu coordinador del màster, Vicenç Gómez. Bé, com veieu, tenemos estudiantes graduados de muchas nacionalidades, de más de 15 países que están en esta universidad de referencia en Barcelona haciendo esta formación que sin duda será inolvidable para ellos. Acabem el lliurament d'aquests diplomes commemoratius amb els nous graduats i graduades del Master in Sound and Music Computing. Demanem que s'acosti el coordinador Xavier Serra per poder lliurar aquests diplomes. Molt bé, doncs comencem amb Danil Alexandrovich Danilin. Sergio Cárdenas Gracia. Theo Furman. Madhav Jaideep. Manuel Lallana Babiloni. Tanguy Lysenko. Joaquim Mercè Forns. Anmol Misra. Àngel Monsalve Fernández. Sí, forts aplaudiments per tothom, claro que sí. Isabelle Octay. Jet Douglas Padoa. Satyajit Prabhu. Y Elena Rakoniat. Ada Salvador Ábalos. Tito Scutari. Alexandre Vilanova Bruns. I Tolga Yapisi. Gràcies, Xavier Serra. I ara sí, un gran aplaudiment perquè ja estem tots. Meravellós. It's a combination of big joy and a bit of sadness because it's your last day here together, but it's really very gratefully to see you and to see your joy in your faces. And now it's the time for the speeches by recent graduates who will say a few words to their classmates, but also to the families, to the friends, to the teachers. You're going to talk on behalf of the class of 2025. So we start with the speeches, and let me introduce you Belén González Mateo from the Master Program in Cognitive Systems and Interactive Media.
Hello, everyone. I cannot believe I'm here giving this speech and representing this amazing class. I apologize if I sound a bit nervous. We've given so many presentations in this master, honestly, almost every week, that you would think that by now we'd all be super used to public speaking, but here we are. The thing is, when I was offered the chance to give this speech, I said yes because it is a privilege to be representing this amazing group of people. But also, I knew it would make me nervous, and so it would be a challenge. I don't know exactly what motivated everyone in this master's degree to make the decisions to study it. Well, I'm sure most of it was the program itself. But I wonder if the fact that it was a challenge played a part in it too. For example, for most of us, this meant moving to a new city, for many even a new country, which, even if Barcelona is such an amazing place, is always a bit daunting. For those from here, choosing this was still a leap. Some had to balance it with work, some left their jobs and took a risk, and even continuing right after undergrad for one more year isn't an easy decision to make. So yes, I'm sure it was a challenge for everyone graduating today, and isn't that kind of amazing? The fact that we can challenge ourselves and come out the other way, the other side, having learned, having grown, no matter how big or small the experience. I hope we all have the privilege of continuing to do so for a long time. As Elwood said, we must always have faith in people, and most importantly, we must always have faith in ourselves. For all of you who have just heard about this master and are wondering what it is about, I can tell you a bit, but keep in mind that each one of us will probably give you a different definition. I sometimes tailor my answers depending on who's asking, like if my parents ask, I'll give them my best definition, which is that it has a little bit of everything. It has computer science, it has psychology, it has design. We study interaction, and we've learned a lot. If my grandma asks, I'll tell her that it's a very innovative field, and it will probably, hopefully, help me find a job soon. Don't you worry. And if my friends ask, I'll just show them all the amazing projects we've been working on and tell them that, honestly, we've been working a lot, but it's also been fun. All throughout my education, I always say that the best part of it was the people, and I can only say the same for this experience. The professors and supervisors who have guided us and inspired us with their passion for the field, and everyone at this university, like Gemma in the cafeteria, who make us feel welcome every day. And just as this master takes a little bit of everything, our class is also made up of a very diverse group of people from very different backgrounds, who somehow ended up here. I'm so happy to have shared this year with you. You are so wonderful that I only wish we had a little bit more time, because the year has really flown by. And I think that's something special, because each of us is shaped by the people around us, and even if brief, in some way, we'll carry a little piece of this time and each other wherever we go next. Still, I'm a bit jealous of those students studying part-time or who still have a year left. I hope next year is just as amazing for them. Well, I'm sure it will be, because that's what they are. And so the only thing left to say is thank you to UPF, to our professors and supervisors, and everyone who helped us get here. And to everyone graduating, congratulations. I wish us all good luck and great futures.
Gràcies, Belén González, per aquestes emocionades paraules també. I ara és el torn, en nom del Màster en Enginyeria Biomedical Computational, parlarà Marc Molla Garcia.
So, hello everyone. I already apologize because this might be a bit repeating, but so here we go. So, graduates, professors, family, and friends, I'm really grateful to be here and to be chosen as the one representing our class. First, I'd like to express my gratitude to all the professors and academic staff who have guided us with their knowledge, time, and dedication throughout this course. And I also want to thank our families and friends who are always there and constantly and unconditionally supporting and encouraging us during this past year and during our whole lives. So despite not being a biomedical engineer myself, I consider that this master program has been the perfect way to find a meaning and a purpose for the more abstract and theoretical world of physics where I was coming from, giving all of us a great opportunity to engage with biomedical cutting-edge research, whether in some of Barcelona's most advanced hospitals or within UPF's own research groups. Coming from diverse academic backgrounds, countries, and cultures, each of my classmates has followed its unique journey of personal and professional growth. Still, we have all shared together this past year, both for the good and for the more challenging moments. Learning how to approach complex questions with analytical thinking, how to collaborate across disciplines, how to communicate technical work clearly, and let's be honest, a bit of expertise on ChatGPT. From the many projects developed for the different subjects to the never-ending master thesis project, which in particular could be referred as the highlight of our year. Not very frightening at the beginning, when we still had the whole course in front of us, but becoming a bit of a nightmare this last month of June. Still, it's been a very valuable experience, pushing us to develop serious engineering work under pressure and with real-world expectations. We can all agree that it hasn't always been easy. Balancing coursework, research, deadlines, and sometimes the uncertainty about the future has been a challenge. However, we've made it, and now, as we reach the end of this course, we step forward to an unknown but promising world with plenty of opportunities. So whether we move forward into research, industry, clinical collaboration, or even we decide to pursue some secret passion, I want to sincerely congratulate all my classmates and wish you the very best in the next chapter of your journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marc Molla. From the Master in Intelligent Interactive Systems is going to talk Ashwin Singh.
So before any of you ask, no, I did not use ChatGPT to write this speech. After all, it's not a graded assignment, am I right? Like many of you, 2 years ago, I packed my entire life in 2 suitcases and carried my hopes and dreams across countries to be here in Barcelona, Catalonia. That single act of stepping away from the familiar laid the foundation for what turned out to be some of the most memorable and productive years of my life. Fellow graduate students, faculty, and staff, today I feel deeply grateful for that decision and even more grateful to be in your company. My time at UPF has been nothing short of transformative. I can't possibly summarize all that I've learned, but if there's one thing I'll carry with me, it's this. Nothing brings people closer than a shared deadline and zero clue about what's going on. I wonder how many of us bonded over those Pac-Man assignments, hours of chasing dots, tweaking heuristics, and questioning our life choices, only to realize it was all a distraction and the real maze was that notorious final exam of autonomous systems. Look, if you know, you know. On a more serious note, this master's taught me not only how to design and build AI systems that serve society, but also how to be critical of them. As we step into the next chapters of our lives, it's more important than ever that we uphold these values in a world that increasingly cares less about who technologies serve and more about the ends they achieve, no matter what the cost. It's not just a moral obligation, it is in fact our responsibility to question, to reflect, and to build with intention. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, just remember, even Pac-Man had to dodge coasts. We'll face our own, be it techno-solutionism, blind automation, and a race for efficiency that forgets about humanity. But I hope you can keep chasing more meaningful dots, the kind that truly serve your communities wherever you go. Holding on to these values, Holding on to these values wouldn't be possible for me without the community at UPF. There is a certain solidarity that resonates. You feel it even if you cannot always define it. And for that, I'm thankful. To the professors who challenged us to think deeper and somehow knew when to push us and when to support us. To my classmates who became friends through countless conversations from classrooms to courtyards and everywhere in between. Together, we worked through countless problems, celebrated each other's wins, and occasionally just sat in silence trying to make sense of it all. These moments, whether ordinary or extraordinary, are what made this journey unforgettable, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Unless, of course, the cafeteria upgrades as a espresso machine so I can stop single-handedly funding Barcelona's entire specialty coffee scene. No, but really, all I feel today is gratitude and joy that I came to this beautiful city and shared such a wonderful time with all of you over the last few years. To those of you who continue to stay in Barcelona, I hope this city grows on you just like it did on me, slowly at first, then all at once. And to those leaving, I hope you carry a piece of this special place with yourself and always find more reasons to come back. No more deadlines, graduating class of 2025. You've earned it. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Ashwin Singh, for your words also. And now we are going to hear in the Master in Sound and Music Technologies, Anmol Mishra.
So this speech is going to be about community, about finding your tribe, because I find Mount right here in the SMC Masters weird, brilliant, chaotic, just the way I like. Now I'll be speaking in the first person, but don't let that fool you. Treat yourself as the subject, because most of what I'm about to say, we live together. To the other master students here, I'm sure you'll relate in some ways, but the SMC Masters will definitely relate much more. And why? Because we are just a little bit cooler. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. So I came into the program as a computer scientist in Korea who DJ'd on the side. You know, classic tech by day, party by night energy. But then I showed up to class, and my classmates were musicians, physicists, acoustic engineers, sound designers. Someone was literally a circus artist. And I remember thinking, damn, I might be the most boring person in this room. It's easy to find a tribe of scientists, and it's easy to find a tribe of musicians. What's hard is finding a place where you don't have to choose, where you can be both. And SMC gave me that. Where I came from, I was the only one mixing code and kick drums. Here, talking about reverb at 2 a.m. was not weird, it was foreplay. I know how much I grew. This place made me uncomfortable in the best ways. 2 years back, when I was searching for places that did music technology, I randomly stumbled into a Hatsune Miku concert. Now, for those who don't know her, Hatsune Miku is a 16-year-old hologram pop star with no physical body and sounds like a karaoke machine possessed by Siri. And yet she sells out stadiums faster than Coldplay in Korea. Anyways, I am standing there in Seoul, watching a glowing anime character scream in Japanese while 10,000 people wave glow sticks in sync, and I have this moment of clarity. I turn to my friend and say, whoever made this, I want to work with them. Turns out it was the music technology group in Barcelona. I saw that, and I was like, yep, these are my people. People who looked at the concept of a teenage singer and thought, what if she was a hologram? So I packed my bags and arrived in Barcelona with 2 dreams: to advance the frontier of music technology and to eat every type of patatas bravas in existence. Only one of those has truly been achieved. And if you're wondering which one, I'll say this: no one cited my paper yet. But Andrea down the street knows my order by heart. Being at MTG has been intense. You start a project thinking, I'm going to change the world. 3 months in, you're like, I just want my model to not return nans. And when it does return nans, you publish it anyway and call it probabilistic. But seriously, this program was full of weird, beautiful contradictions. We use neural networks to model human feel. We spent hours quantifying groove, a thing drummers just feel. We turn sound into data, data back into music. It's like we train machines to do what humans do naturally, just to remind ourselves what's beautiful about being human. And that's the magic of this place. We lived in this space between engineering and art, between the assignments not done, but the gig is tonight, between debugging code and debugging your life over a vermouth at 2 a.m. Also, pro tip, the real debugging happens over vermouth at 2 a.m. Unless you're working on Essentia, in which case debugging just means starting therapy. I've seen people here turn wild ideas into plugins. I've seen code that sounded like poetry. And I've seen brilliant, sleep-deprived students lift each other up when nothing worked. So to everyone graduating today, we did it. We survived group projects. We survived pure data. We survived thesis presentations where the only thing that came out of the speaker was feedback. And to the professors, thank you so much for your patience, your guidance, and your constant reminders that Git exists for a reason. Seriously, thank you. To our families and partners, thank you for pretending to understand what we do. We know it's hard to get excited about my plugin reduces transient smearing using adaptive phase vocoding, but your smiles meant the world anyway. So when we all head out into the real world and inevitably feel lost, just do what we've always done. Open a Jupyter notebook, run the same cell again, listen to En l'altra celia posatuntal, la vaca es cega for the 14th time, and remember, if I got through that, I can get through anything. Thank you, and congratulations to the weirdest, grooviest, and coolest class I've ever known. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anmol, for sharing your experience and just having an idea of what you've been living during all this time here. Finalmente, llamamos al escenario, representando al Máster en Cerebro y Cognición, a Laura Benito Sandoval.
Hi everyone. When I was thinking about what I could say today to all the new master graduates, their families, friends, and professors, I remembered one of my first days here. Back then, one of the first things I did was to invite my new classmates to join a protest against the eviction of l'Antiga Massana, an abandoned school turned into a squatted community space now being demolished to make way for a tourist tunnel between El Mercat de la Boqueria and the nearby square. This is just one example of the many projects that are making life increasingly hard for the working people of Barcelona, a city slowly turned into a touristic attraction where living has become less and less affordable. Far from being an isolated case, less than 2 weeks ago, the city council tried to evict 3 entire buildings in Vallcarca. 40 people, including 13 children, planning to leave them on the street with no alternatives offered. No negotiation. All this happens alongside Al Plan Dressa, the so-called tidying up plan, an urban strategy that cleans the streets in the worst possible way by pushing poor people out of public spaces, making them feel unsafe and fueling hateful narratives that have led to hate crimes like those in Murcia, where organized far-right groups hunted down Maghreb immigrants with the complicity and passivity of the police. To fight against this, I also invite you all, my classmates and everyone here today, to join the anti-racist demonstration at Plaza Sant Jaume at 8:30 tonight. In this context, this master has felt almost like a refugee. A space for reflection, hard work, ideas, and shared knowledge. The Center for Brain and Cognition, all the professors, Xavi and Silvia, the PhD students, the cleaning staff, the admin workers, everyone who makes this space not just a hub of scientific production, but also a place for critical thinking and open science. To all of you, gracias. To my 16 classmates from at least 8 different countries, thank you again. We've shared cultures, critical reflections, knowledge, and a truly valuable learning experience. One we owe to public education. Yet public education, a right sometimes taken for granted, is still denied to many. Among them, the people of Palestine, one of those 800 countries some of our classmates come from, who are suffering an ongoing genocide. Because of this, we must call on Pompeu Fabra University to continue cutting ties with organizations directly involved in financing armed companies that supply weapons to Israel. Because we stand for public, critical education, and in solidarity with Palestine, we must support the boycott of Israel. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Moltes gràcies. Moltes gràcies, Laura, també per portar-nos a aquest punt de compromís que vosaltres des d'aquest espai podeu reivindicar i per portar-nos també aquest coneixement i aquest compromís amb el vostre entorn, que diu molt de tots vosaltres. Gràcies, Belén, Marc, Ashwin, Anmol i Laura, per fer i per parlar en nom de tots els vostres companys. Aquest acte ja s'acaba. La Universitat Pompeu Fabra, el Departament d'Enginyeria, que just fa 25 anys, us agraeix molt tot el que heu fet durant aquest temps aquí amb nosaltres, el vostre coneixement i les vostres aportacions. I, com sabeu, per acomiadar-nos, ens agrada cantar un himne, l'himne universitari, el Gaudeamus Igitur, que interpreta el cor de la Pompeu Fabra i que us animo tots a posar-nos de peu as we can stand up to sing together this Gaudeamus Igitur, interpretat pel cor de la Pompeu Fabra.
Gaudeamus Igitur, juvenes dum sumus. Gaudeamus Igitur, juvenes dum sumus. Os iucundam juventutem, os molestam senectutem, nos haberitumus, nos haberitumus. Ubi sunt qui ante nos in mundo fuere, ubi sunt qui ante nos in mundo fuere, habeas ad inferos, gracias ad superos, osi vis videre, osi vis videre. Viva l'Academia, viva professores, viva l'Academia, viva professores, viva membrum quodlibet, viva membra quedibet, semper sic in flore, semper sic in flore.
So, congratulations. We wish you the best. You are now better than when you arrived, I'm sure. You have more knowledge, but most of all, as you said, you have the value of the people, of your people. You are now UPF alumni, you have a family here in our university, and you have also a family around the world, your mates. Use these people, use your strength together, use the community to improve a bit our world. I think you will be able to do it. So congratulations, and now you're invited to a glass of cava. We want to toast for you, for your future, so we meet outside where we can toast together. Congratulations to all of you. Gracias. Moltes gràcies.